Hello everyone, we're Team 2 and this is our strategic proposal for Sukarne. By now, we're all aware of the importance that an efficient supply chain process has in our world. And how can we make them more efficient? Really easy, through digitalization. An article by The Economist states that the implementation of AI can bring logistics costs down by 5%. For some context of Sukarne's metropolitan area operations, Mexico City has 83% of on-time shipment. More focused on Ecatepec Vallejo agency, they have 53% of on-time delivery, meaning that 47% of their deliveries arrive late. Their truck is 70% full, so 30% of the truck space is wasted on every shipment. Lastly, they do manual processes on processes that today can be digitalized. That's why our proposal is the implementation of SAP Advanced Planning and Optimization, better known as SAP APO model, by the beginning of next year in order to have more efficient processes, better inventory management, and improve their relationships with their clients. All of this leading, of course, to an increase in the sales.
Now, from all the research that we have been doing on our classes, we found that the biggest problem the company needs to focus is their forecasting. That's why, as a proposal, we decided to implement SAP Advanced Planning and Optimization, which is an additional module within SAP CCM. This will help us obtain by the beginning of next year more accurate data, improve communication, have faster processes. The specific benefits of using SAP APO include reduce inventory buffers, improve forecast accuracy, optimize production schedules for all the business plans, and finally, ensure consistent sales order confirmation deadlines.
What do we need from Sukarne? Well, the main investments Sukarne will make are based on money, training, and time. We estimate the model to cost around 50,000 to 80,000 US dollars. However, the exact pricing needs to be consulted by Sukarne. Training is provided by SAP, but in case they need it, they can prepare a budget of 300,000 Mexican pesos. This considers SAP courses that cost 10,000 Mexican pesos. Since there are 6 cities, 3 people from each cities will take the course and they then offer the training for other employees at Sukarne. And the last aspect is time. We consider 1 year to implement and see results in the metropolitan area, and in 2 years, we will be having results on a national level. SAP APO has 5 tools. The demand planning that identifies changes in demand thanks to a forecasting and demand planning tools. The supply network planning that ensures to meet the demand through transportation, production, and warehousing resources. The production planning and detailed scheduling that helps plan material and critical resources. The global available to promise that determines if the requested product client's order will be available on the given date or the promised date. And the transportation planning and vehicle scheduling. And this tool offers a transportation planner and to schedule routes with the lowest transportation cost.
Now let's talk about the key performance indicators. For this, we focus on 3 main performance indicators that we think our proposal will have the most impact of. The first one is available to promise. It's a measure to determine if the requested product from the client's order will be available on the given or promised date of delivery. From this, the results were given in the CDMX region and agencies there. And we saw that from all the 4 agencies, all had rates above 80%, except for one, Vallejo, with 62.92%. The tools we think SAP has and can help the most for this rate is first, global available to promise, which will help Sukarne have better control on their orders and know if they have enough quantity of every product. The second one is production planning and detailed scheduling for Sukarne to create plans that improve their production process and align it with their demand forecast to know exactly how much quantity they will produce for every product.
The second one is perfect order fulfillment.
that is used to measure the percentage of orders that are delivered in perfect conditions, meaning to the accurate location with the correct product on time and to the right customer. As we can see, here are Sucarne's results. And again, Vallejo is the agency with the lowest percentage with 39.76%. The SAP APO tool we will be using for this specific KPI is Global Available to Promise that will help Sucarne to guarantee they meet client expectations based on some predetermined availability checks on their supply. And finally, we have quantity confirmed versus stock. That is pretty much to analyze the actual quantity that was delivered from the one that was confirmed by Sucarne. Again, we have Sucarne's result, and Vallejo is the agency with the lowest one with 63.20%. The SAP APO tools focused on this specific KPI are demand planning, which will help Sucarne to have a better understanding of future demands and also be able to meet them, and production planning and detailed scheduling. This will allow Sucarne to keep a frequent demand by analyzing the lead times and resources available, and also reduce asymmetries between the orders confirmed and stocked. And in order to calculate the scope of the proposal, we created different scenarios specifically for the Vallejo agency. The information for these scenarios was obtained from Sucarne's sales from September 2021 to April 2022. And the increases were decided based on personal bias, considering current data, a minimum acceptable of 95% for the different KPIs, and a time period that concerns the first half of 2023.
Now, first of all, we have available to promise. An increase in available to promise basically translates to an overall increase of the quantity that Sucarne can sell or promise to their clients on future sales. For the base scenario in percentage, we have 62.92%, which can increase only to 63.55% in the pessimistic scenario, 72.36% in the moderate, and in an optimistic scenario, it can increase to 81.79%. In this case, profit increase may vary, and it can be 283,000 Mexican pesos all the way to 8 million Mexican pesos. Now, the next key performance indicator that we have is the perfect order fulfillment, which basically is an increment of the perfect order fulfillment results, which means delivering the product at the right place at the right time for the customers. They have a really, really low percentage for this key performance indicator. It is only 39.76%. In a pessimistic scenario, it will increase really, really little to only 40.16%. In the moderate, it can increase to 51.69%, and in the optimistic scenario, it can increase to 61.63%. It still would need a lot of work, but we can see that this key performance indicator is really, really profitable, because in the pessimistic scenario, it can give a profit increase of 178,000 Mexican pesos, but in the optimistic scenario, they would be getting 9 million Mexican pesos of profit increase. So they should really focus on working on this key performance indicator. Now, the last key performance indicator that we have is confirmed versus stock. This increase on confirmed versus stock is an increase on the potential that Sucarne has to sell. Now, the base is 62.92%. In the pessimistic scenario, it will increase to 63.83%. In the moderate, it can increase to 72.68%. And on the optimistic scenario, it can increase to 85.32%. It still has a little bit of work to be done, but an 85% is really, really closer to the actual 95% that Sucarne needs. So it's a good place to have this KPI by the first half of 2023. The profit increase varies from 268,000 Mexican pesos in the pessimistic scenario to a profit increase of 6 million Mexican pesos on the optimistic scenario. Now, what are the next steps for Sucarne now? Well, first of all, they will need to contact SAP in order to purchase this APO module. They will have to start this training process in order to have a better adaptation of their whole
employees throughout cities and agencies. After this, they also need to compile better data for the artificial intelligence from SAP APO to actually work properly. They would then implement it and they would be seeing the first results on a metropolitan area level by 2023 and results on a national level by 2024.
As we can observe, Sukarne still has some opportunity areas. We try to focus on time reduction, which lead us to understand that the digitalization is the best option for them by creating more accurate predictions and earning more money. KPIs like available to promise, perfect order fulfillment, or on-time shipment in the metropolitan area are really low compared to other cities in the country, meaning that they are losing money due to poor forecast and a lack of deliveries on time. With SAP APO models, they are going to be able to tackle these issues by integrating more accurate data and faster processes. If the proposal is correctly implemented within a year, they can improve in several areas. An example of this is that in the Vallejo agency, an increase in available to promise of 18.87% could help them increase their profit by 8 million. Having a proper implementation with the necessary license and employee training would give Sukarne an important edge over the competition, as well as improving the relationship with their clients. It is highly likely that this project is viable for Sukarne and brings long-term benefits in terms of time and financial results.
The future of predictive supply chain includes artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Why should Sukarne wait for the future when all of these tools are a click away? It is time to lead the industry by implementing SAP APO. Thank you.